gonna give this a try because I don't know what the audio is gonna sound like this, but we will try. I've never used this camera for film or for like a video, so we'll give this a go. I'm Gabby. I am 13 weeks pregnant, and I wanted to film these because really just wanted to start filming in general because I got so much support and so much help by watching other people's videos. So I figured if I ever got here, I would film my own because one, everyone's journey is so different, and you might relate to one person, like you might relate to me, or you might totally not, but if my content's not out there, then you won't know that. So I wanted to kind of do just a, like, when I found out until 9 weeks, and then do a 9 to probably 12 weeks. Backstory: I was trying to conceive for over a year and a half. I'm 30 now, and I just kind of always had in my gut that something was off or something was wrong, and or like it just wasn't going to happen naturally, I guess is what I was feeling. So I was upset finding out that I had to wait a year to go to a fertility clinic or, you know, anything like that, a reproductive endocrinologist. I knew in my gut something was off, but obviously they don't want to see you unless you're at least a full year of trying. So prior to my full year of trying, I had an IUD in, so my doctors knew it was a full year. I have friends and people say like, oh, just go somewhere and say it's a year, and I'm pretty black and white with some things. Like, I'm a rule follower. I want to get a little bit better at that, but at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, well, if it's not my time, it's not my time. But going through this process, I've learned you really need to be an advocate for yourself. So learning. But a reproductive endocrinologist, and I'm in the PA area, so I went to Sincera, which was recommended to me by my OB or my gynecologist at the time. So that has ended up how I got pregnant. Start with where I am today, which is 13 weeks pregnant with twins. And yeah, I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So very exciting. And what a journey. So back in January, I had my first IUI. And so had the IUI done, and it was 11 DPO that I took a test, and it was positive, and it was really positive. And I kept taking them because I didn't believe it, or I was like afraid it was going to disappear. I had a chemical back in July, so I was nervous like the next day it would go away. So I took a lot of tests, and no, it was very dark. And the same day that I found out my first test, I ended up doing a digital that day, and yeah, it came back right away. So clearly I had a lot of HCG in my system for that to pop off. So that's where I'm at right now. I didn't film any of these because I'm such like a nervous person where I was like, I don't want to film these and then something happened. Today I literally had my first trimester screening and like had the guts to do this. So that day, and it was so crazy. I was it was like 7 a.m. I think I woke up, and I'm not an early morning person, and I took the test and I was like, holy shit, okay. And my husband works from home, and I was like, I can't even be in the same room with him all day. I have to figure out what I want to do. So I left and went grocery shopping, went food shopping, and at 7 a.m. like a crazy, because I couldn't contain like all of my emotions. If I can figure out how to do it, I'll insert the clip, because it was like snowing that day. It was this whole like, it was just very emotional for me. And I took a video. I was driving to the grocery store, and it was like kind of cute but also a little crazy. So if I can figure it out, I'll put it in here. But anyway, I was like thinking, what am I going to do? That's when I got digital when I was there. So I was like, okay, I don't know how to tell him. He works from home, so corny, but like a little bit of a backstory. For his birthday, one of the first birthdays when we were together and we met 11 years ago, I sent him a pizza at work and it said happy birthday on the pizza. So I was like, what if I just wrote like hi dad on the pizza? So that's what I did. And then I had the digital like ready to go to show him. And yeah, and so that's how I told him. But what was funny was when I was going through this whole process of trying to conceive, I was really, like, you know, you get so excited every month, and September is our anniversary. It was our 2-year anniversary from our wedding. And I think the like classic or traditional gift was cotton. And of course I'm like, oh, how sweet would it be if I got like onesies, and I was actually pregnant this month. And for some reason I went out and did it. And I got a pack of 2, which thinking now is really funny since I'm pregnant with twins now. But yeah, and I wasn't pregnant, so I've had it in my closet the entire time. So that's another funny thing too. I found out at like 3 weeks and a couple of days I was 11 DPO. I got pregnant because of an IUI. It was my first round of anything. I could go through like what that process was for me. We tried to get pregnant for a year and a couple of months. I kind of always knew something was wrong, and I wanted to be an advocate for myself, but I really couldn't because the time wasn't on my side and no one wants to talk to you. I tried every holistic vitamin diet that exists, and it wasn't that. It was truly that I had fertility issues. So we were diagnosed secondary infertility and unexplained infertility. So whatever, IUI worked, and it was a horrible process. No one thought it was going to, and it did. And now I have 2. So if you want me to go into any of that, let me know. I'm just focusing on the pregnancy part now. So at 4 weeks, is when I got everything confirmed, like blood work. But at 11 DPO, I woke up at like 7 a.m. and took a test because the night before I got so sick from the smell of meatballs. I thought they were bad, and they weren't. My husband was like, they're not bad, don't throw them out. And I couldn't even eat them. And I was upset that day because I already took a test and it was negative. And you know, you assume, you do watch a lot of these things and kind of see people like getting positive on like, oh, I got a positive on 8 DPO or 7 DPO, or, you know, in my case, it could be, I could be that person for someone and they didn't get one until 14. But my point is, it's nice to see, you know, the different time frames. But that day before, I was in mass because I thought it didn't work. And then here the next morning I got it. And then I got a blazing positive, and then I got a positive on a digital that day. So clearly I was pregnant. And I ended up telling my husband. So when I first met him 11 years ago for his birthday, I did a pizza that said like happy birthday on it, and maybe pepperoni, I forget. So I did that and wrote hi dad on it. So that's what I told him. So I found out, I think it was a Friday, but I couldn't get blood work done until that Monday. So at that Monday, I was actually exactly 4 weeks. So I went in for blood work, and they checked my HCG and my estrogen, and my HCG was at a 256. And so I basically got blood work that day. I got blood work that Wednesday, which it went to, I believe, like 667. And then that Friday, it was over 2,700. So that following Monday, which would put me at 5 weeks, is when I got my first ultrasound. And my first ultrasound, I saw 2 gestational sacs. And I was like, oh no, I know what that is. And I have some videos of things like that. I don't know if you'd want to see it. Like, I have a video from when I found out I was, like, I ran out of the house and just went to the grocery store and, like, took a video of myself. I don't know if you'd want to see that, where I found out, because it was, like, raw and I was, like, crying, but it was super emotional. I can do that in another video or something too. But anyway, this is mostly, like, what happened each week. Doctor's appointments, what they saw, when I saw, like, the fetal pull or yolk sacs, heartbeats, like things like that, and how I was feeling. So 4 weeks was, again, just when I was getting blood work confirmed. My sense of smell was horrible, really brutal. Like, I remember, like, public restrooms at work, horrible. I have a cat, so his food was, like, I couldn't even be in the same room. Leftovers in the fridge, like, just opening the fridge and me, the act of, like, opening the fridge and the air wafting in my face, I was done. I had a lot of stretching and pulling cramps, which made me nervous because I just thought every day I was going to start bleeding. And I didn't have any, implantation bleeding. So that was something that is just interesting too. So I didn't have any of that. And then I had, what was really, really obvious was the fatigue. So the other things was kind of like, could be PMS. And I was a little constipated too, but still could be PMS. But the fatigue was ridiculous. So I'm a night owl. I'm usually up till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. easy. I'm not a morning person, and I was falling asleep at like 7 or 8 and going to bed. And that was so obvious. I could not, like, I couldn't even sit up and watch TV. And even when I'm so sick, like, I'm not in bed. So that was strange. So that was 4 weeks. And then we go to 5 weeks. Again, that's when I got my first ultrasound. So I saw 2 sacs, and I can put a little picture. And that was it. So I was like, oh no, I know what that was. And she's like, oh, you know what this means? And I was like, it means it's 2. And I started crying. They're fraternal too, so then that runs in my family. But I was on Clomid, and I did take a trigger shot. So you could look at it both ways. All right, so week 5, sense of smell was worse. I couldn't even eat eggs at this point. I hard-boiled eggs and put them in the fridge. Like, one morning I just woke up and I threw up because of the scent of hard-boiled eggs. So I haven't eaten one since. Still had the cramping. I was in bed by 8, like wide awake from 3 to 5 a.m. Constipated. I was really bloated and uncomfortable. So, like, it truly could be or feel like PMS symptoms. But what got me nervous was just how uncomfortable I was, and kind of being like surprised that I felt all of this so early on. So I was just kind of like waiting every day for, my period to come. I took so many tests. I think I took tests up until like 16 DPO or 17. I realized, like, enough tests. So if you ever want to see a transition of what they look like, I can show you that because I have a million of them. That's also when my boobs were like on fire and growing like crazy. It was in that first week. Like, I couldn't even lay on my stomach. Like, the touch of them, I was like, whoa, this is no joke. And then I was crying a lot. Like, a lot. So I don't know if I said this already, but 6 weeks. So every Monday, essentially, I think Monday or Tuesday, is when I got my ultrasounds. So it's truly like seeing every step of the way. And that's just because they want to make sure that everything is viable and moving forward. So they said they would see me up to 9 or 10 weeks, and then I'd graduate and go to my OB. So 6 weeks, we saw 2 sacs and 2 yolk sacs. So there's like 2 little circles. And as I was, feeling, I still kind of had the insomnia, but now it was started at 1. My boobs grew again, I think like a whole cup size. I think that is when I was like, I need to start shopping for bras. I had lots of discharge. I remember there being, okay, so we had like fries in the fridge as leftovers, and I opened the fridge again, like with that like wafting smell. I got sick and threw up in the sink. So I'm not getting nauseous from just being nauseous. I was just getting nauseous from smells. I wrote lemonade is life, which I loved lemonade for like anything. And then I wrote everything upsets me. Poor Paul, who's my husband. So, oh God, yeah, I was not in a good headspace. So those were symptoms, 6 to 7 weeks, but then I forgot to add what 7-week ultrasound looked like. So, sorry, as you can see right now, I'm very, indigestion and hard for me to breathe. But we're talking about 7 weeks here. So 7 weeks, there were fetal poles. So baby A was always at this point kind of further along than baby B. We could see both of their hearts flickering, but baby A's we could hear. And I think baby A's heartbeat at that point was around 186. And then baby B was not measurable. I think it was, well, no, we couldn't hear it, but it was measurable. So I think it was like 124. And they said anything over like 110 was still good. So really had me nervous because that's like a 60 beat difference. And I was really afraid something was wrong with baby B. So that week was a long week waiting to make sure for 8 weeks if baby B had a heartbeat or not. So there's a lot of times like I wish I took these videos in the moment, but there's so much that I feel like could have gone wrong, and I'm sure everyone feels like this, and I'll feel like this forever now, but I just didn't want to, I don't know, like, I guess it's like shame or something. Like I didn't want to document and then it go wrong and have that. I don't remember. I don't really know, but it's hard. But everything's good. So 8 weeks, both had heartbeats that we could hear. So baby A, I think went to like 174, and then baby B was at like 150, 145. So really exciting. At 8 weeks, I wrote bathroom is regular again. So out of nowhere, I don't know if I started just like eating enough food, because that was something too. I was not eating enough. So I think I'm just eating enough food. I really tried to up my protein in general, because they say with twins, like I'll go over this too, a couple of books that I'm reading, but one of them speaks to nutrition and like what you should eat, how many calories, how much protein, and in my first couple of weeks I was really obsessed with that. But I think that's what's regulated me. So I had less bloating, but more cramping. There we go. 8 weeks, I wrote I had to buy new bras. So I went up truly a full cup size. At this point, I'm almost up, I think, a band, and I might be another cup size. I don't know, because I'm barely fitting in the ones that I bought at 8 weeks. I wrote discharge is never ending. So that's a really weird, that was a symptom too that I had leading up to my positive. And then I wrote sore when I switched sides. So they say when you're pregnant, you can't sleep on your back, and I'm a back and a stomach sleeper. So around 8 weeks is when I tried moving to my sides, because on my back I would get a little bit of pain, and it's something with like your pulse. Something gets blocked. I forget exactly what it is. So, and a blood supply to the babies and to you. So as I was like switching from side to side, because I'm very uncomfortable, because I'm not used to that, I would get like round ligament pain here, and I think that's what it is. It would pull on the sides. So that was something that started at 8 weeks. And I wrote tired at work, barely can make it to 4. it truly, like, I think it was like 3:30 every week. I just would be at utter, like, that's when I would have bought another coffee. And I'm down to like one coffee. Like right now I'm drinking one that I chose to have in the afternoon. Yeah, so I don't know how I got through. And then that week we told our parents too. So again, they knew we were going through fertility treatments, but they didn't know. Like it was a lot. I didn't want all the questions, and I really didn't want to answer them if it didn't go well. I was just preparing for the worst, and it's poor me and my, like, you know, I'm trying to be more positive, and that's why I'm doing this. So just know that if you feel like that, I felt like that. And then the last week that I'm going to talk about in this one is 9 weeks. So 9 weeks was my last day at my fertility clinic. I graduated. I have a little video of that. Maybe I will put at the end of this. But let's just go through symptoms, because this week was very similar. Like nothing new happened. The heartbeats were the same. They looked good. The only thing was baby A was like wiggling all over the place at 9 weeks, and baby B was like chilling in the corner. So that was just, I was shocked. I didn't think like I would see like the little arm buds like moving so much. It was just, I was like laughing so much. But anyway, I wrote no pants fit. Maternity shopping I started. So got some stuff from ASOS, motherhood, and I tried Target, but I hated everything at Target. I said smells are still bad, but I'm fine. So I guess I would say I still have like an intense sense of smell, but maybe I'm not getting as sick is what I meant. This was a big one that was like a flip of a switch. Headaches. So I had headaches start around 5 every single day. So kind of like how the week before I was exhausted at 4, like clockwork at 5 every day. I get a headache that sometimes led to a migraine. I wrote, so emotional, I'll laugh and cry at the same time, which was very true. Out of breath when I talk for long or out loud, which is still true. I work in retail, so I'm one of the managers in a department store, and we do these like morning rallies and like get everyone excited for the day, what's going on, what's happening, and I do them, I host them a lot. So not only was I like, you know, making my voice up, projecting my voice so everyone can hear me, but I'm pregnant, I'm hiding it, and I can't breathe. So by the end of it, I swear I was like I could never catch my breath. And then yeah, it was my last appointment at Sincera, so I can put that clip in here. So I hope this was helpful. So that was 4 to 9 weeks. Again, if you want to know anything about like how I got to this point, my fertility journey, or a little bit more about like if you want to see my tests or some of the things I tried that didn't work, or how I knew that it wasn't going to work, or what exactly our diagnosis was, like I can go into all of that. I just know that I wanted to start out with like, hi, I'm pregnant, I'm excited to be here, and I want to help. So, but okay, here's that video, and thanks for watching. Okay, I have to talk about this before I forget, and like I try to recall. On my way home from my last appointment with my fertility clinic, so I'm officially graduated, which is just so crazy. Like this whole process has been like in reality very fast for me, but it still is like I can't believe I'm moving on to an OB now. It's just like really nuts. And the last day, oh my god. So I had my ultrasound, I had one more ultrasound done, and I was gonna like videotape, ask them if I could videotape it or like film it, whatever, because Paul's never seen them yet because they don't allow anyone in. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just video it. And then, I don't know, something was like, oh, you know, I was getting nervous. So like, I'm like nervous, like what if something's wrong with one and that's like my memory. I don't know. Again, I'm nuts. I'm aware. But baby A was like flap, like moving its arms all around and its feet, and I'm only 9 weeks, which is crazy to see. And they're measuring the same, not exactly 9 weeks, which before, like, baby B was smaller, baby B's heart didn't beat as quickly as baby A, so to see that they're the same track, like same measurements and everything is really great. And I was just like a little emotional leaving there, and it's just crazy. So yeah, but so baby B's heartbeat was 162 and baby A's heartbeat is 181. And last week baby B was like 175 and baby A was like 185. But for a long time now I've been saying that I really think B's a boy and A is a girl. I can't wait to find out. It's so crazy. I'm just so excited. So yeah, I don't know, it's a lot. I'm really excited. And then I get to go to my first prenatal appointment, which, like, you know, anybody who's pregnant who hasn't gone through fertility, this would be essentially their first appointment that they ever have. And I think you usually go between 8 and 10 weeks, and I'll be going at 10 weeks. So I don't think I'll see the babies for a while. So when I see them again, they're gonna look like babies. Like, it's crazy how much they've grown already. And I'm just really excited. So nervous for that prenatal appointment. I wish I had the guts to like post these earlier so I could get like some feedback of like what to ask, but I really just want to wait for 13 weeks. So if you got, or 12 weeks really, if you see this now, obviously I'm beyond that. So crazy. Okay, so I guess I'll update after my prenatal appointment, and then I can make these like maybe one video I'll do. Ooh, so excited.